Greetings, future masters. Here we have a very interesting endgame. White to move. So let's look and see what happened. Well, as you just saw, black captured our rook. So an overall look at the position is pretty simple. We got to take it back. Well, we're going to look and see what's going on. So now black is going to make his move essentially against our b pawn. He could either go king c2 and try to win it that way, or he can just push c3, exchange it, and try to position himself to catch the h-pawn as it goes to h4. So really, king c2 loses to king takes c4, king takes b2, and h4, he's cut off by the king. He can never get anywhere close to the square of the pawn. So he's going to play c3. Now we have two choices, take it or lose. So if you pass him, he's just going to queen. You're too far away. So we got to take it. This is all basic stuff. All right, now the thing is, square of the pawn. Right now, the square is 7 by 7. He's in that. But obviously, in the first move, the square goes from 7 to 5, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He needs to be able to go to d4. If we play h4, he goes to d4. This pawn is stopped. So we have to prevent him from reaching the corner of the square of the pawn, which if we play king to c5, we're threatening to go h4 because he cannot hit the d4 square. And that's what happens. This becomes a conflict of white preventing black from getting into the square of the pawn. That's all it is. Understand that is the goal. The problem is fairly simple. So black has to once again threaten to get into the square. White must once again prevent that from happening. h4, he plays king e4, he's in the square. That square is d4 across the board to the h square. So again, white does the same thing. He goes one more, same for white. Again, the threat was h4, king f4. This is his shot, king f3, h4, g4. So we cannot allow him to get in this, to basically cross onto the fourth rank is what we cannot allow. This is boxing him out. Now, it doesn't matter, because king g2 loses to h4. And even if it was white, if white had another free move, allowing black to stay in his best defensive position, h4, he cannot get to g4. This is the whole point of the box out. We're boxing him out, and now the h-pawn has a clear sprint to the finish. It's very basic from the beginning. Only understand what has to be done. Obviously, we can't win a rook down. He has to play c3. We have to take him. The trap is to play h4 prematurely. We can only play h4 when the pawn's progress is confirmed. And so all we do is we go to a box out into what is, similar to the shepherd position. So, killer endgame lesson. See what else we have in these problems. Well, all right, we're winning this fairly easily. Clearly, king to g7 doesn't really get anywhere. And actually, he probably should have played queen to h4 check. if he wants to perpetually check us, but whatever. Logical. Now what is he threatening? Queen takes free bishop. Yeah, well, good luck with that. He threatens queen captures free bishop. And again, indirectly this move. I'm thinking you could possibly play, well, you could have the bishop for all I care. I'm thinking queen to g6. Queen to g6 just threatens to queen the pawn. I don't need a stinking bishop. Although I was thinking bishop to e7 would be a really annoying retreat. But we have what? We can go. I really think queen to g6 or queen to c2 even. But queen to g6 stops that queen f6 check business. So I like queen to g6 because how does he answer b1 equals queen? I mean, queen takes bishop, b1 equals queen. You're just a queen down, and it's not looking good. Although bishop to e7 is potentially keeping it. But you can play queen f7 and you get the kind of the same thing again. Well, then again, bishop to e7, queen to f7. I don't know, man, that's a good question. I'm going to go with queen to g6. Yeah, well, good luck with that. And what the heck would you do here? Well, that's not what you would do, but okay, we'll take it. That was pretty basic stuff. The key point was just recognizing, and this guy just losing? I don't know. Check, king to a8, a1, queen checks on c3, and then rook takes check. Or, no, he's got that pawn there. This dude is ahead in pawns. We can't trade queens with this freak. Oh, we just checkmate him. Forget this garbage. Let's just checkmate. Sometimes you start looking, you get trapped into looking for tactical what have you. It's just checkmate. Bump and score is what I call it. You don't normally see it in the end game. That's kind of the deception. There's the bump into the corner, score. I was looking for some other fancy tactics, you know what I mean? So the lesson there is don't always look for fancy tactics. Well, this dude is in trouble. Queen to e6 checks, jumps out at me so fast. Queen e7 loses to queen takes knight check and forking the rook. Knight to e7. Oh, man. Knight to e7. Good question. Knight to e7. Maybe knight. What do I do anything? Well, I mean, king takes bishop is not the move. We don't have time. We don't have time to take. We don't have time. Oh, we don't have time to take bishops recapturing from whatever this guy took. Bishop takes rook, most likely. We don't have time for that garbage. We have to be crisp and to the point because we're going to be down a knight versus two rooks. So queen to g8 check threatens. Queen to g8 check. He cannot play king d7 because of the checkmate on e6. So he's forced to play king to e7. Is his only move. Heck, we just do it again, right? Check, boom, checkmate. Looks like checkmate to me. One response, king f8. One response, checkmate. There you go. No biggie. I made it look like candy. All right, that's 4 in a row. Well, 2 from the previous day, so that's why it shows 6. All right, now what? Look, isn't this guy just getting destroyed? Queen to b8, check. King to a6. I don't know. It looks like it's all too easy. Kablamo, king to a6. And then queen a8 check, rook to a7. And then what? Don't have any queen checks if we do that. King to a6 garbage. Oh, that's nasty. Check, king a6. Check, boom. Yes, he's dog meat. He's dog meat with a decoy sacrifice. The decoy sacrifice is what gets him. 5 in a row, I win the tournament. Pretty outstanding. Yeah, I came up with this idea when I was looking at this going, well, if I queen check him, he goes rook to a7, and I have nothing. And I thought, well, if that rook is here, if I could just get rid of this rook, I could checkmate him on b5 with the rook here and the king here. And I go, well, what if I just take this pawn? And there you go. That's how I came up. I came up with the decoy by having, envisioning queen checks, rook to a7, and then moving the rook out, and I checkmate him on b5. But if you don't do it with check, he's just going to defend with queen c6. So I was like, okay, I'll just go rook takes. King takes is forced. Well, actually, it wouldn't be forced if my queen is on a8. But that was the idea, that the clearance sacrifice. It's a decoy and a clearance at the same time. So we clear the b5 square for the queen, but it decoys his king to a bad square with the clearance. So it's a 2-for-1. But that's how I came up with the idea of rook takes a5 in a reasonable amount of time. I can't. Well, I'm not saying I can't do it in 33 seconds. That didn't look too not an obvious problem. But it's not the time is not a big deal. It's not about speed. It's about accuracy. Accuracy first. If you're fast, okay, fine. I mean, clearly Kasparov would do this in 20 seconds or less. Because, come on. He's Kasparov. And we ain't. It's okay. So that was pretty terrific. 5-0 speaks for itself, does it not? So, like the video, comment and tell me what you thought about those. If those were helpful to you, they should be very good. Subscribe and you'll get more of this gold. You guys know what to do. I'll talk to you later.